Good morning. I request everyone to please rise and put your hands together as the dignitaries enter the auditorium. In like 30 seconds. Good morning. It is with great joy and anticipation that I welcome you all to the 7-day national level faculty development program organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC of Jyoti Nivas College Autonomous, Bengaluru. With over 50 years of experience in imparting knowledge, skills, and ethics to young women, Jyoti Nivas College Autonomous has always fulfilled its responsibility. Founded in 1966 as a minority Christian college managed by the Society of Sisters of St. Joseph of Tarbes, JNC has remained steadfast in its goal of providing a balanced and comprehensive education in the liberal arts, science, and commerce and management. This year's FDP theme, Research, Innovation, and Industry Connect, Empowering Excellence in Education, sets the tone for a week of transformative learning and collaboration. As we begin today's program, We extend a warm welcome to our esteemed chief guest, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, Vice Chancellor, St. Aloysius Dean to be University, Mangalore, Sister Nalini Cruz, Education Secretary of Sisters of St. Joseph of Tarbes and Manager of Jyoti Nivas Institutions, Dr. Sister Mary Louisa S., Principal, Sister Sajita Jose, Administrator, Dr. Carol Stanley Zemler, IQAC Coordinator, Ms. Neeta Jorfin, Controller of Examinations, Dr. Preeti Mangla and Dr. Rupa Philip, Deputy IQAC Coordinators and Conveners of the FDP, Dr. Leena Nair, Organizing Secretary of the FDP, Organizing Committee members, Dr. Josephine Narmada, Mrs. Anupama Bhatt, Mr. Mikhail Rajaram, and Dr. Rajesh Dharmaraj, Chief Coordinators of Arts, Science, Commerce, Deans, and all the faculty participants who have joined both online and offline from across the country. Welcome once again. To begin this auspicious occasion, may I now invite the following dignitaries to come forward for the lighting of the lamp, symbolizing knowledge, enlightenment, and learning. Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, Dr. Sister Mary Louisa S., Sister Sajita Jose, Dr. Carol Stanley Zemler, Ms. Neeta Jorfin, Dr. Leena Nair, Dr. Josephine Narmada, Mrs. Anupama Bhatt, Mr. Mikhail Rajaram, and Dr. Rajesh Dharmaraj. Thank you, dignitaries. Let us now invoke the blessings of the Almighty to guide us throughout this program. I request Dr. Jyoti Nivas to lead us in prayer.
As we gather here today, we come with open hearts and minds ready to embrace the knowledge and wisdom that will unfold over the next 7 days. O divine source of wisdom and life, we bow before you with gratitude and humility. We thank you for this opportunity to learn, grow, and share. As we embark on this journey of knowledge, we seek your blessings and guidance. May our minds remain open, our hearts receptive, and our souls enriched. Grant us the wisdom to understand, the patience to learn, and the strength to grow. Guide us in fostering creativity, igniting innovation, and inspiring the minds of those we serve. Help us to build a community of collaboration, compassion, and dedication so that the knowledge we gain may empower us and future generations. Heavenly Father, we come before you with hearts full of gratitude and reverence. We lift up to you Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, the Vice Chancellor of St. Aloysius University. Lord, we thank you for the gift of his leadership and the wisdom you have already bestowed upon him. Bless his work, his health, and his spirit. May your hand continue to be upon him, blessing all those who he serves and leads. May he always reflect your life in all that he does. Merciful Lord, we ask for your wisdom and guidance for Sister Nalini Cruz, the Education Secretary of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Taps, Karnataka, and manager of Jyoti Nivas College, Autonomous. May her leadership be filled with your divine wisdom, and may her heart be ever guided by you. O Lord, we lift up to you your mighty hands, our beloved principal, Dr. Sister Mary Louisa S. In this moment of the Faculty Development Program, we ask for your abundant blessings upon her, that she may be filled with strength, grace, and wisdom as she continues to lead us with compassion and vision. Abba Father, we lift up to Sister Sajita Jose, the administrator, before you. Bless her with ability to navigate challenges with a calm spirit, and may she continue to lead with compassion and dedication. We ask you to bless Dr. Carol Stanley Zambler, coordinator of IQSC. May her efforts create a profound impact on both faculty and students, enriching their lives and the educational journey. Lord, we also lift up Ms. Neeta, the COE, and every member of the Faculty Development Program Organizing Committee, Chief Coordinators, Deans, Deputy COE, HODs, and all the faculty members. May they be filled with your grace as they work together to create an environment of learning, growth, and inspiration. Grant them strength in their collaboration and guide them to always keep you at the center of their work. We pray that this faculty development program will be a time of renewal, growth, and transformation. Dear Lord, bless all the participants, both online and offline, from various institutions. May our discussions be fruitful, our connections meaningful, and our actions purposeful. Let the learning not only transfer information, but transform our perspectives. As educators, may we continue to inspire and lead with integrity, passion, and purpose. We ask for your divine blessings on this faculty development program, that it may be a source of growth, inspiration, and success for all involved. Bless all the work we do and let it be for your glory. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, ma'am. The objective of this FDP is to explore and strengthen the synergies between academic research, innovation, and industry partnerships. As the educational landscape rapidly evolves, it becomes imperative for educators to be future ready, equipped with emerging tools, technologies, and methodologies. This FDP aims to empower faculty to become mentors of innovation, to foster creativity and employability among students, and to build sustainable models of industry-academia collaboration. The 7-day national level faculty development program at Jyoti Nivas College Autonomous features a thoughtfully curated schedule designed to empower educators through expert insights and dynamic sessions. On day 1, that is today, we have a keynote address by Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, Vice Chancellor of St. Aloysius Deemed to be University, Mangalore, who will speak on the theme Research, Innovation and Industry Connect, Empowering Excellence in Education. Day 2 features Professor Prakasha GS, Associate Professor at Christ University, delivering a session on research writing and publication, equipping participants with essential tools for academic writing and scholarly dissemination. On day 3, Mr. Rajesh Pandit, Revenue Growth and Startup Advisor, visiting faculty IIM Udaipur, will present on empowering innovation and excellence in education. Day 4 brings Ms. Anuradha Adiga, Senior Principal Consultant at Infosys Limited, who will delve into empowering educators with AI, applications in teaching, research, and publication, exploring how artificial intelligence can transform academic practice. On day 5, Dr. Professor N. Jayashankaran, Chief Advisor, RCSS, and former Vice Chancellor of Kanchi University, will discuss accreditation and assessment for institutional growth and excellence. Day 6 hosts a powerful panel discussion on Industry Academia Connect, featuring Mr. Victor Sundarraj, Infosys, Dr. Srijit Srinivasan, Schneider Electric, Ms. Priyanti Sylvia, Quest Alliance, and Mr. Naveen Chellaya, Sabre, with moderation by Dr. Rajesh Dharmaraj, Department of Computer Science, Jyoti Nivas Postgraduate Center. The program culminates on day 7 with a valedictory session, drawing to a close a week of knowledge sharing, inspiration, and professional growth. As we move forward with today's inaugural ceremony, it is my privilege to invite our dynamic principal, Dr. Sister Mary Louisa S., to deliver the inaugural message. A steadfast advocate for academic excellence and holistic education, Sister has been instrumental in shaping the vibrant intellectual and value-driven culture of our college. Her unwavering commitment to empowering women and nurturing a future-ready faculty continues to inspire and elevate every initiative we undertake. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Sister Mary Louisa S. to address the distinguished gathering.
Distinguished and esteemed keynote speaker, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, SJ, Vice Chancellor, St. Aloysius Deemed to be University, Mangalore, Sister Sajita Jose, Administrator and Secretary, Dr. Carol Stanley Zemler, IQAC Coordinator, Chief Coordinators, Ms. Naureen Aziz, Mrs. Grace Samuel, Mr. Shanmugam, Mrs. Nita Jorfin, Controller of Examinations, Deans, Team IQAC, HODs, faculty members of JNC, and all those who have joined us online. Welcome to the FDP on Empowering Excellence in Higher Education through Research, Innovation, and Industry Connect, organized by the IQAC. Faculty development programs are extremely important for higher education institutions for refueling and reviving our vision and mission as educators. The concepts and matters that we deliberate about in this elite forum to provoke discussions that pave new pathways for our students and in turn for the progress of societies are definitely not ordinary. Every time we get together for FTP, we choose to plunge into trending topics that are change makers. This time around, the theme of this faculty development program, Empowering Excellence in Higher Education through Research, Innovation, and Industry Connect, is absolutely pertinent to the current context of the world and the education sector. I'm pleased that the IQAC team has opted to address the right issues needed for the development of the faculty. In the course of these 7 days, you have the opportunity to learn, explore, discuss, and develop your ideas to lead the students to be leaders and creators of a progressive future world. In the last few decades, higher education has transformed into an arena which is challenging and exciting because in the world around us, certain sectors are experiencing meteoric growth, which is really amazing and unbelievable. AI boom is one such thing. But to cope and to keep with the pace of growth and to win the race is indeed demanding. These demands have made innovative research work and industry collaboration inevitable ingredients of higher education. Research, innovation, and industry connects are absolutely essential for empowering and for ensuring excellence in higher education. The knowledge that higher education institutes like us need to impart to the younger generation is no longer confined to information from libraries and lecture halls. Knowledge that we provide has to be connected with the world outside our campuses. The goal of higher education today is not merely to inform, but to transform our students into leaders, ideas into solutions, and potential into real lasting impact on communities. At the heart of academic excellence lies research. Research is about challenging what we know as information and knowledge. Research is about exploring what we do not know and expanding the boundaries of human understanding. In colleges with undergraduate and postgraduate students like us, research has to be instilled in every student. Industry partnership has helped understand what's happening beyond the classroom. They explore our students to practical problems, current technologies, and emerging market demands. Through internships in industries, joint research projects, and entrepreneurship incubators, we can enable our students to learn the soft skills of communication, teamwork, adaptability, all that's vital for any career they might choose. While we get our students ready for change-making careers, side by side, we have to make them aware of what's going on across the globe. Globalization, connectivity, profound industrial and technological growth have made many things easier, but brought in many tough, unexpected challenges as well. Climate change, inequality, digital transformation, mental health crisis, economic shifts. These are not just headlines. They are calls for our students to rise to the occasion, to create new solutions that propose new ways forward and excel in what they do. It is our responsibility to teach our students that excellence is not a destination, it is a journey that begins with questions, grows with innovation, and comes alive through action. As faculty, let's work together to create researchers, innovators, and future industry leaders. Let's try to redefine what higher education could do to change the world to a place that sustains the future by protecting the people and the environment in peace and harmony. Our students have to be taught to question why and what if, taught to be curious enough to investigate and persistent enough to search for answers even when they are not easy to find. Such a training would fulfill the academic requirements needed for the future and enable our students to contribute to real world change. Here in this forum, let's discuss about how to help our students to do research and to innovate. Their research shall bloom into ideas that impact and improve lives of people. Teach them to learn the art of doing things differently for the betterment of situations and societies. Indeed, many innovations have happened in campuses. Sam Altman, executive officer of OpenAI and leading figure of AI boom, started his work in Stanford University but left in between for the industry world. Story is similar in the case of Mark Zuckerberg, co-founder of Facebook and Meta Platforms, and Bill Gates, co-founder of Microsoft. Both started working on their innovative ideas in Harvard campus, but left in between to industry. Yes, research and innovation need industry connections. Industry is the bridge to the real world. Gone are the days when the academic world and the world of industry were separate spheres. Today, the most successful institutions and students are those who engage with industry. On that note, I wish to express my hearty congratulations to the IQAC coordinator, Dr. Carol Stanley Zemler, and the team of the organizing this FDP that addresses relevant topics pragmatically. Wishing a fruitful week ahead that benefits all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, sister, for your inspiring words and for setting the tone for the FDP. Your message truly resonates with our mission and reminds us of the higher calling we have as educators. It is my honor to introduce our distinguished chief guest, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, an eminent academician and visionary, currently serving as the Vice Chancellor of St. Aloysius Deemed to be University, Mangalore. Born in Shankarapura of Udupi district, Father Praveen pursued his formative education at St. John's Educational Institutions, Shankarapura, and obtained his Bachelor in Science from St. Aloysius College, Mangalore. He completed his Master's in Chemistry at the prestigious St. Joseph's College, Bengaluru. His academic prowess and research credentials took him to the University of Namur, Belgium, for his doctoral studies, where he obtained his PhD in nanosciences. Returning to India, Father Praveen Martis donned several leadership roles, such as correspondent and student counselor at St. Joseph's Evening College, Bengaluru, professor of chemistry at St. Joseph's College, Bengaluru, director, postgraduate studies and research at St. Joseph's College, Bengaluru, rector and principal of St. Joseph's College Autonomous, Bengaluru, director of DDU Kaushal Kendra and campus minister, St. Aloysius College Autonomous, Mangalore, and later principal of St. Aloysius College Autonomous, Mangalore in 2017. He is also an approved assessor by National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAC, for assessment of autonomous colleges in India. Father Martis is a recipient of numerous prestigious awards that highlight his unwavering commitment to academic excellence and educational leadership. Among these are the Best Principal Award by the All India Association for Christian Higher Education, IACHE, the Lifetime Achievement Award by Abhijnaya Education Private Limited and Wisdom Ed, and the Environmental Peace Building Education Award by the International Association of Educators for World Peace, affiliated with the United Nations ECOSOC, presented at the 20th World Peace Conference in Delhi. He has also been recognized for his outstanding contributions in virtual education during the pandemic and the innovative educational leadership, making him a widely respected figure in the field of higher education across India. In addition to his administrative accomplishments, Father Martis is a prolific researcher in the field of nanoscience and electrochemistry. He has published over 24 peer-reviewed articles in reputed international journals such as Electrochemica Acta, Acta Materialia, Journal of Nanoparticle Research, and Journal of Electroanalytical Chemistry. His research contributions focus on nanomaterials, carbon nanotube composites, and environmental sustainability. He has also made his mark globally through numerous presentations and invited talks at both national and international conferences, and brings with him over 2 decades of experience in higher education and institutional leadership. Today, we are privileged to have him with us as he shares his insights on research, innovation, and industry connect, empowering excellence in education. Please join me in extending a warm and heartfelt welcome to Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis SJ. I request our principal, Dr. Sister Mary Louisa S., to felicitate Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis with a token of our respect and appreciation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis for the keynote address.
Good morning to all of you. Respected Sister Mary Louisa, the principal of Jyoti Nivas College. Sister Sajita, I think she left, is the administrator, and Dr. Carol, the IQSC coordinator, all the officials of Jyoti Nivas College, and also the members of the faculty. I'm really honored and humbled to be here this morning to speak on research, innovation, and industry connect, empowering excellence in education. So thanks for the introduction. Many things are exaggerated at times for the introduction, but that's part of anybody's life to give a little boost and that will take it off. But sometimes also we need to see how we can take it forward with that particular introduction that is given to us. Jyoti Nivas College is somehow very familiar to me from long time, but I heard about it when I was a small child because my aunt, who is a sister, who studied here those days, and that's how I knew about Jyoti Nivas College. And I came to Bangalore again as an administrator. Sister Elizabeth and Nirmala here, and Sister Louise and others were accompanying me a lot. I learned a lot initial years how to do administration from Jyoti Nivas College a lot because I was just at the age of 35, 36, pushed into administration after my doctoral studies in Belgium. Even now, I'm just completing 15 years of administration and research at the very young age. I think many of you are senior to me here and also much more experienced than what I am. But I've just done little work in the past few years and happy to be here by thanking you all for initially giving me that boost and energy. I was telling to Dr. Nirmala, I didn't even know what was UGC. And that's the time she used to take me along with Sister Elizabeth to UGC portals. And today, of course, I know many of it because I have traveled more than about 60, 70 times to UGC to see that we get the university status for St. Aloysius. Of course, it was long deserving. Somebody has to do it in God's ways. The I became partly a little instrument in God's hands to see that we get elevated to the university status. I'm sure you also will one day become a university soon because now everybody is talking about university and we got the university last year, just a year ago. And after that, we have seen a lot of growth. When you become university, there's a lot of possibilities to grow. And that's something comes along with it. But there are a lot of challenges. I like the way Sister brought in the introduction very well. It's challenging but exciting. Now that is something very interesting. It's challenging but exciting. Now some people say it is challenging but difficult. Let us not go through that kind of a period and all that. No. Challenging, but at the same time, it's exciting because that's where we can jump in. I keep saying that nothing is nothing comes to us just like this. Okay, everything comes to us with only challenges and excitement. Like let's say we got the independence for India. It was a long struggle. And for us, for Christian institution, there's a minority status, let's say. That was also a great struggle. Now there are people are saying whether that will continue, whether reservation will continue. Yes, once it has come with fight, and that will not remain just like that. So that generation has worked for it. And this generation, as with their leadership, has to work for it. Otherwise, somebody will take it away. Nothing will come to you on the platter and remain forever because there are, I'm sure, the historians and others, philosophers, and nothing will come into that because you have read enough of the history and seen things will not remain just like that. Somebody will grab it, somebody will take it, something will happen. Now the world is of that kind. What is happening in US? Now can you imagine the president of US talking about Harvard University and what they publish is rubbish and what they say they do not know. And this man without much of education talks this kind of thing. You can imagine what kind of politicians are there and what they talk today about the university. University is a place where I keep saying is the creation of knowledge. Higher education is all about creation of knowledge. That is where the higher education comes into picture. Otherwise, there is no higher education. Up to 12th standard, I can understand. But once you get after that, it's all about research. That's why you have chosen a beautiful topic today about research, innovation, and industry connect and empowering the educators. And you have begun this wonderful FDP today for about 7 days. I am also of the feeling that FDPs should be continued for a longer time. After St. Aloysius become university, they have got FDPs for about 1 month every year. Everybody has to go through that process because sister said we are living in a disruptive world. Change has happened in the past very, very slow. The things didn't change like what we are now. It has taken maybe centuries to change. Now it takes days to change. When it takes days to change, we also need to equip ourselves. It's not possible. Otherwise, when we began with writing, and after that, the tools of papers came in, the printing came in. It remained for a long time. You know, the TV came in, it remained for a long time. Now, when this AI comes, and AI of different kind, it keeps changing, and people are talking on nonsense that the world will be taken over by AI, all sorts of things. But then educators and others would know where we are. It cannot be just taken like that. Some people in WhatsApp universities talk lots, but those things will not happen just like that because their educators and other researchers will really understand what is happening. It doesn't mean somewhere something has happened one day and whole thing will be changed all over the world, all at once. Those things will never happen. That's why we need educators like you. We need people like us to give right information to the people. Otherwise, we'll be giving all wrong information. So that's why we need to get away from this WhatsApp university and get into the library, get into the hard facts and provide to the world. Otherwise, we are now living in a world of all kinds of populism and people are talking about becoming popular by giving these false narratives. There are plenty in the world, and these things were happening in the past too. But then there was no journalism, and those kind of departments wouldn't just, for the sake of sensationalizing, talk something nonsense. But today we need skills. That's why I would start from this man, Robert Greene. The future belongs to those who learn more skills and combine them in creative ways. So we need more and more skills. People talk about soft skills, people talk about hard skills, life skills, and many other skills. I think skills are very important. Only people, those are very creative, can survive in today's world. Those are traditional, conventional, saying that this is the way it has to go, they will find very, very difficult. No, things are changing very, very fast. The senior teachers will find it more difficult than the younger ones because younger ones have come with the Gen Z, where the seniors would have come with a other kind of an approach. But to change that fast to the digital native and digital AI, it is not easy. So that is where the struggle today, through the universities, the colleges, how we really adopt. Ultimately, we need to learn to adopt with lots and lots of skills, and creatively we are working on it. So this is just the beginning. I have just started to say how we can reimagine as an education from the beginning. I have kept my topic of discussion from the understanding of UNESCO's 5 pillars of learning is very close to my heart. I keep narrating about it quite often. I said, let me also begin here with those 5 pillars and the role of research in education. And there are also various ways of transformative pedagogies. Today's world, there are various ways of pedagogies. I have listed about 21 of them, very important. I'll just be going through quickly. There are 7 learning strategies we have got. The connecting innovation, research and industry, how we can build them together. As Sister beautifully narrated in the beginning, how these things are connected and they go together. And that's the society that we're living in today. The empowering excellence and tools and enablers. There are lots and lots of tools today. How do I use them properly and see that they're focused and also get the best of results that is possible? And from vision to practice and few takeaways. Because I'll be talking a lot, but then at the end we shouldn't lose focus. So I put as few takeaways for us to take it from where we are. Okay, as we all know, the landscape of education, we are living in a highly disruptive world. And these disruptions go very, very fast. Sometimes I don't understand, like, when we use the books, books came as a tool, as technology. People have forgotten. Now, even in the church, I should not be making very strong statements. When we read, let's say, from the scriptures, scripture is the text that comes. The spirit is behind that with the letter that is printed. Today we have got AI and others. If somebody uses a mobile, people say, no, what a world this priest and these nuns are doing, reading the scripture from that. No, that is the world we are in. The traditional people and conventional people are very strongly opposing these kind of ideas. Actually, they have no idea about the technology. The book itself was a technology. The tablets that you're using is a technology. Nothing beyond technology. So actually, that is where your understanding comes in. That's why I said, how we live in today's world in creative ways. If you do not understand that itself is a technology, then you're wrong. But olden days, let's say, knife itself was a tool. Knife has got both positive and negative. So every tool that comes into the world has always positive and negative, including AI that we are living. There are students who are doing extremely well in the world of AI. I got some people coming to our institution giving big talks and saying that world is over. With all AI, now children are completely into AI, they are addicted, and no more things are. Now, who is inventing? Not these people who talk about. These children are inventing. What age? At the age of 9, 12, 16, they are not getting into universities at all. Now, sister mentioned big names. They're all failure. They're not got into universities at all. Where this innovation comes? It was supposed to come in the universities. But if you have this kind of a thought, how will it come? Whether to use chat GPT at all, people are questioning now what will happen now gone. There's no more giving assignments. Chat GPT has come, they can just type in seconds, things will come now. What will happen to education? These are all unfounded fears actually. For the creative people and those who are into research, these are not fears at all. These are anyway things to move on. That things are changing and I need to accept there's always positive and negative. First to learn is let me enter into that and see what is ChatGPT is doing. The right question, it only gives right answers. Now the questioning, somebody has to also think to question that, no? Give a right question there to get right answers. Somebody is not good at that. So things are changing. People are writing research. Recently, I was reading about a great professor from IIT saying what is wrong in that. Right? Research even using ChatGPT. So these are the thinking should go. See, one level, people are thinking liberally. Another level, people are pulling them backwards completely. So we need to see as researcher where we are and how to go about. So it requires a lot of discussion and thinking. Disruption in terms of pandemic was really a big disruption. AI, the climate change that we're talking about. I would say being a scientist, yes, some may agree with me, some may disagree with me. In terms of the world that we live in today, whether the climate change or not, the world will go on the same kind of years. One day we'll have to go. And tectonic shifts that happen every 40,000 years. We will not be having India after 40,000 years in this place. Somewhere else it will be. The culture that we talk about is all dynamic. Now in India and other places, they're talking about culture as very static. Someone from this religion marrying another religion, my goodness, what a hue and cry. I don't think when you really think something beyond, these things are a problem. Okay, because we are living in a world, even climate change, I would hold on to as a scientist for basically for the sake of value, more than anything else. Because that will bring us value where you would plant something else, something will happen. Whether the plants come or not, the most amount of oxygen comes from the sea. It is not from the trees. If somebody has done a good research. But of course, trees planting is very important because they're part of value. Okay, these are different kinds of debates today. Go on, I like these debates and maybe talking some very different kind of a thinking. But then I want to provoke also sometimes some kind of people who can even ask me questions because I read a lot and I like to understand that way because we know not even 1% of the whole universe today. Not even 10% of the human body. And we tell the doctors, how do they know? Like, this doctor has to do this and that. Because those of you are into research, we know what is happening. Oh, it is not possible. It's all learning that continues. That's why we need to get into research to understand where we are. Research gives us kind of a perspective and also context that we grow in. That's how we change. That's why universities are very, very important. Today, universities are losing grounds. Politicians are questioning the universities. That was not the world. Universities used to give the knowledge with research and they would respect the teachers. Today it's the other way around. That's why I think research and others have to really question this, and especially that is happening in the US. It's really not very exciting, really painful. I'm sure one day things will change all over the world. The researchers and the teachers stand and start fighting. Why this is not happening? Because everybody is trying to become very independent and very comfortable. In a world of independence and comfortable, the others will take charge. That's the only reason that others are taking charge, where everybody wants to live their life comfortably. The moment everybody thinks of the others, this will be questioned and things will change. I'm only hoping that that kind of leaders will come in to question such kind of things with courage, to lose their lives so that something better will happen to the society later on. Something better happened for us because of someone who fought for us. Something of that kind should happen. This generation has to fight against this kind of things, and the others will benefit. Rather than being independent and comfortable, that's where we may be comfortable, but the next generation will lose out a lot. That's why these are the questions that we know. The shift that is happening from knowledge to the learner centric. So far, like when I was studying, let's say I studied maths, I remember my teachers, with all due respect to them, they did not tell me, wow, what is this differentiation used for? I was only wondering what is this trigonometry was used for until I did my PhD. No, nobody told me. They would come to the class straight away, start with equations. So what kind of education is this? So with all due respect to all of them, that is not education actually. Education is to tell them why, where it is used first. When somebody tells you where it is used in economics, where things, that is where you are creating a kind of a thirst for this child. Yes, that is used somewhere. Let me then try to understand it. No? Whereas all our education, unfortunately, it went with the math teacher trying to write something on the board straight away without explaining where it has come. Chemistry teacher, I had a wonderful teacher who would come and open the book of those great teachers and read it saying that you write because you have to get 98%. But where are they landing in? They are landing ultimately in one of the professional bodies. The who is their head? Somebody who directs them is the one who failed in the 10th standard and 8th standard, because what is happening is it's more than IQ, the EQ. Those who study in the classes and all, sitting and getting high marks, high level of IQ but low level of EQ. Whereas those who fail, they have got very high level of EQ because they have been beaten at home, they have been told and criticized in the schools. Now they know how to stand against all this criticism. These people have never been excellent, you're a good student, doing good, everything is fine. But tomorrow somebody criticizes, his world is over. Then commit suicide. That's why number of suicides have gone high. And who commits suicide actually? All those are bright ones. 98% I didn't get, 95 I got, so commit suicide. The one who's failing is very happy. So he has got very high level of EQ actually. So what a world of today that we are living in. Education, that's why I'm questioning education, where we are. Actually, we should teach them EQ. We should be able to, understand when somebody criticizes, somebody puts you down, whether your emotional level is low or high. If your emotional level is high, then that is where things will go. You change. And you teach the children today. Nobody should commit suicide who study in our institution, but that doesn't happen. That's why we should be now going to the learner-centric. Learners should be empowered. So somebody was telling me real education is actually value. And there is no mark for that. Somebody comes exactly at 8 o'clock for the 9 o'clock class, he should be getting very high marks. But that is not there. Discipline, we don't give marks. Somebody is excellent human being. Someone said in ethics examination, the worst humankind got 100% there. Ethics, IQ is very high. He has memorized and got 100 marks. But somebody who really follows ethics, he is not getting anything. That is the world that we are living in. That's why I think it's a change that we need to all question today. As who are we? That's why I said more and more this FDP is today to talk about not so much of knowledge to be given. Knowledge we can get anywhere. We don't require people to give knowledge. What we require is this spirituality of the values. That requires long time. One day we cannot change. Let's say when I get angry at my students because he is disrupting the class, how do I really? I get angry, isn't it? Immediately. Then how do I act on my anger? How do I act on anger? Many of my faculties, even today, they act on their anger on the paper. They fail them in the examination. I'm shocked. And I, being an administrator, I have seen such examples. That is very bad, isn't it? Somebody is having a naughty character or troubling you, but don't show him somewhere else by not giving him attendance. Rather, first of all, to understand, that's why Guru in Sanskrit language is so beautiful. The Guru means dispel the darkness. He's not giving the knowledge. That's why sister said, inform and transform. I would say in between, formation. Like in the education system, what happens is information. Second is very important, formation. The formation is this. How do I really build myself first and the others with that kind of a knowledge which is EQ, the balance that I have. When I get angry, when I become jealousy, somebody does better in my department, I get jealous, it is fact. But then how do I live with that jealousy? Do I put down that person and create a problem for that person? Is bad. How do I understand that and work on me and do nothing about it? Rather appreciate. So that kind of a world doesn't happen even among us. Now I keep saying that even among us, we are the teachers. Now when we are not equipped with that, what kind of a teaching are we going to give to the student? That's why learner-centric now we'll have to concentrate. Urgency for this ethical education that I talked about now is very, very important. I spent a little more time, I'll go a little quickly, but this is what I really feel after 15 years of my field in the higher education. We are losing a lot on that part. We do not know how to handle a student, first of all. How to, when that student is not studying, how to really help that student to study. How to inspire that student. How to begin my classes with 5 minutes of value education. Not just homily or sermoning somebody, but then very creatively bring it out. And the last 5 minutes, I had about 15 years ago, one of my senior professors in Mangalore, when like his understanding was, with all respect to him, it was okay those days. The best teacher, according to him, is one comes with a chalk and pen without talking a single word or anything, but starts from the beginning. When the bell rings, drop it there and go. I don't think that is education. That anybody can give today. You and I need not be there. It's available with AI. All your maths and chemistry, best of lectures are available from IIT lectures. All that is available. You don't require you and I to be there. Our job is something else. Along with that, of course, that is very important. I should equip that. But how do I inspire my student today and build him with values, with respect for one another? Like today, the more problems are created, I will come to that slide later. I read that many years ago, I'll be putting that later. Is really, when you read that, you'll be really shocked whom we are creating today in our world. So let us try to understand, because this try to be a reflective kind of an understanding. So we are in the 21st century. Learners need skills beyond memorization. We require reflection, analysis. Like in Jesuit education, we call 5 important points of pedagogy. One is the context where we are. Like today's education, I should understand where am I? What is the context? The context I given you previous slide. And after that, the experience in that context. And after that, the reflection within that context. After reflection, act on that, based on that present context, and evaluate it. And rise above, evolve, another level of context, because context keeps changing. Context doesn't remain static. And again, experience in that context, reflect in that context, and again, do some action, and come back into evaluation, again, come back. So this is what Jesuit education for us about 500 years ago, given by those educators, 500 years ago. To say a simple tool to understand where we are. If we can use it regularly, what will happen? The world can change. Otherwise, today's university and other education, nothing is going to change. We're only giving some information, memorize it and write it and get very high marks and do the same. There's no change that can happen. No. So we need change that happen to the society elsewhere. So we need to really question beyond what is happening in the world. Yes, NEP has come, other contexts are there. Yes, I need to teach that, I need to engage myself. But beyond that, can I do something? It is always possible. Always possible. Good teachers can always work on that. As I said, adaptability, creativity, and collaboration and traditional education models are now evolving. Like I said, about 15 years ago, how my teachers were, now it is evolving. Even they are changing. They don't change, then we are already outdated. We need to change now. That's why I said FDPs. Here you are having it for a week. I'm very happy, but I already adopted for a month. And even that I feel is less. So that's why my teachers are more troubled, unfortunately. The beginners, at least, they'll have to go through two kinds of certificate courses in between. The certificate courses that too on Saturday, that too after the class hours, without paying, where they have to pay for it, and then get the certificate. Initial years, 5 years ago, when I started, what a hue and cry, there was fight, there was a protest, and all that. Now everything has gone up because I know any changes as administrators when we start, first thing is the protest and the fight and the criticism. Second year, they will be okay. Third year, it will be part of it. Fourth year onward, they'll only promote it. Because they'll promote because we have gone through that. Let the juniors also go through it. Not in a good sense, but in that sense. But anyway, it happens. Wherever you are, it happens. And that is a change that always can bring in something very different. Because my whole idea was when I brought in that, first of all, they should be angry. Because something else is happening. So that is where emotions are provoked. Whole life is subjective. It's not so much of your objective. So when you get angry, how do you work on it? Because I learned it with the Jesuit education. After I finished my studies in abroad for 5 years, we got something called tertianship. Okay, and that tertianship, after 5 years living in Europe, in a beautiful world, she would know in Europe how things are. No, everything is clean and neat. When I came down, I got 6 months of formation. And that was in Hazaribagh. And in a remote place where 7 kilometers you have to walk, there is no bus facilities. If at all, have to come to the city. And that is where Jesuits had a house. And highly dilapidated house. Jesuits have got enough and more money. They could have had wonderful things to build on. But this was part of education, formation. And that time, the person in charge was very interesting. He was a provincial earlier, just like me, very young age, 37. Now also is a great formator. When we entered into that house, you won't imagine. The room was dilapidated. Open the cupboard, there's a lizard which is dead. No, there's so much of dust there inside. And you go to the washroom, the mosquitoes, you can't even sit just like that. And everybody is angry. All these Jesuits all studied abroad in different places with PhD. Next day, complaining, writing letters to their provincial pack everywhere. What kind of a fellow, the formator that you kept? Whole idea is he wanted us to get angry, and he wanted us to, how do I react to it? So much so, like, we were surprised. The evening, that too in a dark place, one day, we were criticizing him, including me, I was part of it. What kind of a man you are? And he was part of it quietly, come and join me, he's also criticizing him. And we had jokes that we had no idea because it was in dark, He was also part of it. Then we realized he's their father, then we'll run. Then he also comes running. Then after 6 months of that formation, he told us very important thing. The whole purpose of this idea was to see that emotionally how stable you are. If you've gone through that 6 months of this, you can live anywhere. That is where you have started taking control of your emotions. Once you start taking control of your emotions, wherever you are, emotions are part of a life. They come and go. Now, if you stay longer there is a problem. So I worked as a counselor at Tihar jail for about 3 years. Regularly I used to go every Thursdays. Now those people, because see how their tendencies, it's all emotion. Murder is an emotion. It's not outside there. Now we are talking about Trump's war. Where is it? It's starting from here. There's no control. All these are not happening there. It's all ego. So that's why all these things, that it's not happening in the education system at all. Then what changes are you expecting? That is not happening in the education system. That's why I got this idea. I started this disrupting the faculty, younger ones, to know and not to teach them anything in those 6 months.
except this emotional balance with meditation and other things. So then what happens now? They're emotionally understanding how things are. On a Saturday afternoon, they don't get anything. Their time is taken, their money is taken to give them a certificate and not to teach anything. No knowledge, no research, big things, so nothing is taught there. That is not required. Actually, first of all, we don't have control of ourselves. Now, in most of the protests that happen after my 15 years of experience in the college, is not by the students at all, it's by the faculty. Believe it or not, I'm making very strong statements. I'm very young and 15 years of my experience. Is one of the faculty doesn't like another one, or the administrator will slowly provoke one of the students who is very naughty. And that naughty student will do everything knowing that he will be protected by one of the faculty inside. And disruption has happened. It's not by any other. 95% of the times, the domestic violence or the theft is happening by the people who know you. One who creates most problem for you is the very closest friend of you. He knows you. One day emotionally is unstable, he will try to create a lesson. He's not your enemy. Enemy won't know anything about you. So these are very strong facts of experience that I am trying to bring it out. Where in education today we need to be working on. Research, yes, that is the second step and others. But emotionally, if you don't have balance, emotionally, that's why I keep saying intention should be pure. No, wherever we are working in, no, intention should be pure. Now, let's say I'm coming here as FDP. Why people are not, the best of people are not coming into education? All because of money, isn't it? When we were studying earlier, about 30 years ago, 40 years ago, rest of minds were in the education pattern. Because they were paid little better than the rest. There were no industries and others. And that's why we got the best of education in terms of values. The very disciplined, let's say we got it, all because of that. One fact I said information, that was something different. But other than that, the discipline, the values that we got, which we are not getting it today. It's not possible because rest of minds are gone. And believe it or not, including me, many of us have joined into this kind of a field because we didn't fit in there. That's fine. I mean, nothing wrong. Nobody is pure. No, if you see, I'm a chemistry man. Dr. Nirmal and others would agree. There's nothing called no element or nothing called 100% pure. Not possible. Some other element will be there. And how much about the human being? There will be much more. That's part of our life. How do we really try to balance it out? That is where we need to work really and move forward. So that's why the evolving learner needs, one is desire for relevance and flexibility that is required. All that I was talking to you just is a lot of flexibility that is required. The education institutions today and the industries, see, there are hundreds of industries will come in. Out of that, those industries more than 10 years and continued above are very, very few, not even 10% of them. All of them died down. But universities are the colleges have lasted a little longer compared to them. But even they will die down if we don't work on the flexibility. We don't adopt. And which ones are finding difficult to adopt? The world institution like yours and my institution. Because West, those days, no, we can't change. That is the given. It's like elephant, no? Cannot walk fast. We are like elephants. Become very strong pillars because even the world of congregation, I keep saying it, like ours or Franciscans and others. The newer ones like CMIs and all that, they go faster. Because they are born in a present context. They are not born in a world context. Ours is old that tradition. How can I change? Ignatius of Loyola and another one. It is not possible. Whereas these are saying they're born in the present context. They change very fast. Let's say the present institutions which have grown now, they will change very fast. Because for them, they need to make a name. I have made already a name. Let me little be slow. And that happens within the institution, everyone. So that's why older institutions very difficult to guide. I've been there. Fortunately, this was 140, that is 144 now. Older institutions which I have seen through these changes, but I have, being a young man, actually forced through all these kind of things. And my teachers are today along with me, understanding this factor because I keep talking to them quite often. Like this group, I got about 300 of them. I keep talking to them quite often about the language that I'm talking now. And that has actually brought in a lot of changes. And we are trying to adapt now. We are trying to be highly flexible. That's why 1 month of FDP, as I said, with that 1 month, at least 2 weeks will go for spirituality. for the meditation, remaining there in silence, trying to understand my own self, become aware of what are the feelings that I'm going through. Then what happens? Your family is happy. At home, there are disruptions. Child will be sick. Something else happens. How do I remain peaceful? It's not instant coffee. So when I go through that, when I understand that, your home is happy, then you're coming here, you know how to deal with the most difficult student, and everything goes, then your energies are saved. Then you can do research and everything very fast. Things will grow very, very fast. I tell you, I've seen that experience in my institution last 10 years I'm there in Mangalore. Now we are doing extremely well in research. There were no patents. I got now every other day teachers are coming with patents. I was shocked. And I'm getting shocked even now. Before coming in, I got 7 patents just a month ago. What is all happening is all peace at home, peace with yourself. Energies are saved. I'm a chemistry man, science. The energies are wasted. Where will you get energy to think? When you are peaceful, that you require meditation, that you require to understand how the oxygen level is very important for the mind. Because we study alcohol in the classroom. And why people get into that addiction? Because it blocks everything and then you can talk any nonsense. So that will people do. That's why people are getting into. But why do I require all that? Now then there's a dehydration. You give little water, things will change. Because I remember our college about 10 years ago, a very nice professor, very senior professor. There was a young boy on the festivity day. On the fest days, a lot of disruption. No, people come with drinks and all these things. There are very curious boys. 7 of them have taken this first timer and given him nice drinks and pushed him inside the gate and they have escaped. And this boy can't even walk. He walks like this. And my senior professor very happy to have caught this man. He brought him into my office directly. He can't even walk. He's like a drunk man walking in. And I say, what happened? He's asking me, seeing everywhere, who are you? Really, who are you? He doesn't know where he is. And a very nice boy. Immediately, I didn't scold the student. I scolded the professor. I said, you didn't have any kind of understanding where you brought him, first of all. Anybody would have given him enough water to drink. When you drink water, dehydrated, your alcohol level goes off and you become better. And you give him little water to the head, then you become normal in no time. So that is what is required. And then things will change immediately. So next day, when everything was okay, I called him to my office and started my relationship. I said, yesterday you said this. No, father, I never said this. I should have recorded, I said. Then I told him, anyway, I don't do anything to you. Now tell me what really happened. What really happened? What went wrong? No, father, first time, the 7 of my classmates took me there and then gave me enough drinks and pushed me inside and they ran away. So guy said, I'll leave you, but I'll catch. No, then they will trouble me later on and I can't give their names and all that. Finally, I somehow persevered, become very friendly with him. He gave me all the 7 names. I'm always a person who analyzes. I don't punish anybody. I don't believe in punishing. So the 7 guys came and I had a nice chat with them, trying to understand what it is, for the fun. But then what really happened? So I could spend, but I had to give a lot of time, almost about 5 to 10 hours to understand this, make them friends, say that you don't do it again. So that's why our teachers won't do it because you don't have time today, no? Because if you start getting in there, when do I do my research? So today what we have done is in the college itself, we've got about 15 counselors and investment. Because our teachers need not spend time. Teachers will identify them. Then the full-time counselors are. Those counselors will spend time with these people, call their parents, try to understand why this person is doing the why he is doing. There's something that is happening. At home, there is problem. And sometimes there are no parents. And that's why this boy has not got enough love. That's why Tihar, when I was going there, one thing that came to me very, very strongly is no love. They never experienced true love. That's the reason this is going on. That's why I would say education, where we need to really make them feel what is love, what is true love. Once they understand, all your domestic violence, all that will stop. People start respecting the other as humans, to different genders. Things will go peacefully. That is what I think is real education is, which is truly missing in all our systems, because all of us need to get NRF ranking, we need to get tag. We don't have time for all these things. That's why but we can still get time. What I'm trying to say is we can still work out systemically and things can change really drastically. and that's why we need to work on it. And the old model that I say, like teachers teaching from there, dynamic model is something what I'm going to talk to you today. Dynamic model is like, no, teachers sit, teachers become facilitators. How do I do it? You may ask a question with 80 students in a class, how do I do it? Not possible, but then it can evolve. There are ideas which are possible. Many of us are doing it. I'm doing it, but little more investment in the part of the management. But that investment will pay off after some time. The number of students also will come. So these things like earlier, when there were no hall ticket, were given attendance shortage. Now I see that there is no problem of attendance shortage because they are taken care earlier. Now during the attendance shortage, we also feel happy, some money will come in the name of fine. And management feels very happy. I got 10 lakhs. My directors will say, Father, I somehow managed to get 15 lakhs for you this year. I said, why? Within I said, stupid. But I couldn't say to that person, because he's only thinking that he's helping the management. Whereas he has spoiled the student. I mean, there is a lot of work could have been done there. Why do I need the 10 lakh and punishing this boy? And 75% supposed to be 60% I bring it down, and that 15% I make money. So these are all very bad actually within the institution. I have stopped that completely. It took me 10 years. I see that now either you give or don't give, but don't do that last moment. You start working on the day one. That's why I got counselors. On the third day somebody is absent, that person's name has to come. 1 week the person's name has to come to my office and I should know. So that everybody who is absent, why should I punish last moment? Whose problem is that? He said his problem, no. Actually, those kind of problems are only getting down into society tomorrow and disrupting the whole society and getting into TR jail. I still remember when Kiran Bedi was there. I really respect her. She was the one when I was as a counselor going to that place. She called all the counselors and said, no, some of your institutions are very tough. You believe in punishment, no? Inside, what do we believe in? Reformation. Can't that be done in your institution, in the place where you do it? Now, when all that happens, finally they land in TR jail, will they transform? But they are getting bigger thugs there inside. And they won't talk because I've been doing, this fellow will tell the others, how do I do this? And others, I got a lot of ideas. I can do wonderful robbery, and because I used to listen to their stories. The pickpocketers, I know exactly how to work on. They come as a group, or 3-4 of them. First fellow will emotionally make you angry. You are already gone. Other fellow will take the things. That's all it is, so simple. Because I had so many friends as jail, pickpocketers. I used to ask them, how do you do this? And they used to give me reasons. One beautiful example is this. They don't work in a single, they work in a group. First fellow will disrupt you emotionally. You are angry, then second fellow will finish the job and go. And they share that. And they say they get a lot of money with that. So they say that is far better getting money than rest of it. So that's how people work. That is what it has helped me so much. I said, why can't we do it in the institution, changing them? It may take a longer time, but society benefits at the end, no? These are all my experience that I'm sharing. Okay, now I will quickly go through the 5 pillars of learning that are very close to my heart. I've been always talking about these 5 pillars. And these 5 pillars can change, they're given by UNESCO. And these are all learner-centric. How we can change our way of thinking. A holistic framework to guide the education transformation, which emphasizes personal, social, and civic development. I believe in 3 levels are very important. Unless I change myself, I cannot give something to else. Whether values or information, anything, I should be highly passionate. I should be loving what I do. I keep saying there's no subject is difficult. Do you believe in that? No subject is difficult. So who is difficult? Teacher. The teacher has not loved that subject. Imagine, not loved that subject, goes there and reads it. How can a student love that subject? I had my teachers, some of them. I was very poor in mathematics till 7th standard. 8th standard, I had such a wonderful math teacher. I loved maths even today. Till 7th standard, maths was a pain. 8th standard, this teacher was running around and teaching this maths, the way with narration and all that. I fell in love with that subject. It's all about the teacher, actually. The teacher, that's why I keep saying, don't blame the subject. Chemistry is difficult, physics is difficult, maths is difficult, not at all. Nothing is difficult. If a teacher doesn't study that properly and doesn't go with the passion to the class, inspire the kids. That subject is difficult. You ask any teacher, 15 years of my experience. I ask, immediately I come to know. A student says, this subject is difficult, I know who is your teacher. I got the answer out of it. But there's no difficulty at all because this teacher is not preparing properly. This teacher is taking 15, 20 years of notes, MSc time. And I've seen that also. Gone into the classroom and old notes, they come and read the same notes because they haven't prepared, no. And the PPTs are excellent. Same old PPTs, 10 years ago, no change there. At least change something when you go now all about PPT. Nothing has to be changed. Morning you come and read about it. Then how a student learns something? My student is finding that my college, there are Hindi students are finding very difficult. This Hindi teacher was such a boring teacher. Even I wouldn't understand when he comes to my office to talk about it. Now don't go and find out he's retired. I'm just joking around. These examples are only passing examples, not about this or that institution, but I'm saying how things happen. But then I remember in the college where I studied, before coming into St. Aloysius, first year I was in a college. That's where I became a changed person and become a priest for that reason, because that was a liberal college. That helped me a lot to reflect and to say that I would like to be a priest. That college, there was no attendance. Okay? Nothing was there. There were excellent teachers, some of them. But in their class, nobody would be absent. There was one Hindi teacher, you won't believe it, Saturday, 12 o'clock was his class. Saturday, 12 o'clock. And there is no attendance, first of all, in that college at all. That class is to be full. Not only from that class, other class students used to come there and sit because it's so good. I never got a teacher like him even now. I'm not a great teacher, but I'm saying somewhere because somebody has a talent to create a Hindi teacher at 12 o'clock. After you for 75% and fine, nothing was there in that college. That is where I started reflecting about my own life. Because we used to go to movies, bunk classes and watch things. And one day I asked question, what kind of a life am I going to lead? And that transformed me and said, let me at least become a priest and things can change. So that's liberal places sometimes change. Not so much of like, compartmentalized places. That's why things can happen differently in different places. Now, what are those 5 pillars? One is learn to know. First of all, the knowledge, as I said, is very, very important. Now, as a subject is not difficult, that means the person who teaches that subject should know really well. What part is the application part, where it is used, why it is used. Once you go with that 10 minutes to the class, with that example, when you begin that particular thing, the students will love it because the next part, what you teach is use somewhere else. Use somewhere else. Tomorrow I can be working in that industry, this industry, that. So thought already starts coming in. Otherwise, the whole idea is I have to get 100 marks. Whole idea is how do I memorize and get the whole teachers and mindset will change. That's why 5 minutes before, 5 minutes later, see that if it's 1 hour class, you use it somewhere in between, things might change drastically. We are using that. I am now when I go to my master's classes, I make it a point that like 5 to 5 minutes, 10 minutes are only for something else to teach them and tell them about the world. So some kind of a new idea that comes in. Now let's say theory in chemistry. Maybe Lewis acid. It's just a person did that at that moment. I said, tomorrow you can be a scientist. You can change that. The same thing happened to Max Planck. When he was studying in Germany, he wanted to do his master's. He comes to the class, his physics teachers tell him, whatever has to be learned in physics already you learned. Why do you waste your time? He said, no, I want to learn something. He learned and now he's got a Nobel Prize for quantum science. So this man got into passion and started working on it. There is so much to be discovered there, plenty. The millions are doing research on human body. Another millions can do it. There's so much to learn there. There are trillions of cells. We think that when you do something, it's over. No, that is where the curiosity, that's why the whole topic is today about research, is to learn to know and not just what is there, rather to create knowledge. That's why higher education is all about creation of knowledge. Some say if you get into higher education, what a difficulty. I had one excellent teacher. He said, I want to get into PUC. I said, what is the problem? Father, research every day, 9 o'clock. Can't sleep here. You are asking for publication. If I go to PUC, simple offer. I get more marks also, more money also. You're not giving. If I go to PUC as a chemistry teacher, I teach their little things, and in the evening I go to this coaching center and make more money. Evening, morning, same thing has to be taught. After 5 years, nothing else to be. So it's okay. I respect that teacher, but I'm saying if you are getting into higher education, you can't go into that mindset, no? You're not getting in there because of Jyoti Nivas, St. Joseph's or Christ and other. You are getting in because you want to contribute to the knowledge. Then there is a passion. Then there is something else. The things will change. You don't have to have administrators tell you what has to be published because you are getting into knowing. Yes, otherwise you have to be humbled down like that particular teacher saying there is. It is not my cup of tea. I'll go and get into PUC. Fine, I'll respect that. Somebody gets in here should actually start working at it. Things will change. No? That's the knowledge that I'm talking about. The cognitive development, critical thinking, beyond memorization. That is where after degree there is no more memorization. Rather, lead the student to the library. Read the students to somewhere else so that somebody finds something more and curious because you can't give everything. Content you can give to inspire. Beyond that, the student has to go and learn something. So that will happen more and more. The questioning, the curiosity, all these things will happen. That's why some of these people who are not getting into education are becoming great today. What is happening in the universities? Because something is given and that has to be produced. Whereas others, they don't have to do curiosity. They question and they come out with new thinking, new knowledge. All that will happen. And it prepares learners for the lifelong learning. Once you love particular thing that you like, after that, no more job. Is there a job that I'm working for? There's no more job. So it so happened there was one student in PUC, I still remember, from his childhood, he was excellent in electronics. Excellent. And his parent, I knew him very well, in PUC to choose the subject, he said, no, he has to take computer science. He cannot take electronics. But then this boy would come, no, father, tell this uncle and like your father, friend, I want to take electronics. So somehow I convinced him because electronics was his life. And his father was thinking computer will give a job. Now today he's in USA, done double PhD. This was about 15 years ago story in electronics. Because that is his life. He is enjoying. He is no more working somewhere. He is producing, contributing. From childhood he was into it. So that is the change that I'm saying where you can do. Like today, unfortunately, everyone wants to go to commerce. Like in my college, there's a huge dust. Everybody gets into BC. Now, what are they going to get? I keep telling the student, like, you're good in art, good in something else. Choose that. You can make money even there. You can become the best of artists. That's why we need to now change this mindset. Art, like, enter into that, guide parents, counsel them. That is what higher education, I think you and I need to do it. The basic science is very important. Why people have to get into engineering? We all know, like, why I give this name in BCom with the SCCA. I tell the parents clearly, I need some money, I'm doing it. Knowing a priest, I tell them, if you humbly ask me, you go into BCom. You humbly ask me in BSc, which course to take, biotech and all that. I'm just naming it, I need little money. If somebody gives, I keep it 30,000, 40,000 there. But really somebody wants to do research, biotech doesn't need. Nanoscience is coming later on. You take simple physics, chemistry, maths is enough. So who are there to guide them? There's nobody to guide. No people, because people also keep these fancy names just to make money because there's a crowd which wants that. Otherwise, there's nothing actually. You ask me, I'm a researcher. You need only basic sciences perfect, basic knowledge perfect. Rest all is coming in. Like nanoscience, when I started doing my PhD in Belgium, till then I didn't even hear about what nano can do great. It's very simple. If your basics are right, nano is not a great thing. You can do a little research there and everything is part of that. But basics are not strong. What are you going to do? So that is where we need to tell the people, but world is moving in that direction, which is very crazy. But where we can interrupt at least a few of them and change their mindset, things can change. Learn to do is just knowing is not sufficient. Second part is where I get in there. How can I make them do something? Okay, what knowledge will inspire me to get into action? That is very, very important. If that doesn't inspire to get into action, that requires skills, your practice, the problem solving. One is theory. I keep saying always theory goes first. Like when you talk about atoms, who has seen the atoms? How did I get to know? Only through mathematics. Only through mathematics. Mathematics is the basis of science and philosophy. not chemistry or physics. Now we can see an atom. How many after thousands and thousands of years? How did they get to arrive at? Only by theory. Theory is first. But once you inspire with the theory, then next you go it. That's why any changes I keep saying in my institution, if they don't plan properly, I don't allow them to enter it all, even a simple fest. They have to explain to me in the fest, even when the disruption happens, how do you act on it? Theory. First think completely in a set, a simple fest that you're conducting or a conference. From the beginning till the end with the budget and everything you have to explain. After that, get in there. Otherwise, what is the idea? You just no plan. The conference has to be conducted, fest has to be conducted. Then on the way, problems will come. Then how are you solving them? No imagination. First imagine theories. Then do it. Doing it is very simple. You know already this disruption will come. Then you save time. You are entering in there. Otherwise, you're just starting in. You're in between court. Then trying to solve this problem that. Then you are not getting into solving any problem. Rather, it is getting more complex. You're not understanding that at all. That's why doing it will now get in there. This is simpler. First part is knowledge with theory, then applies knowledge in real world settings, promote, that is where we are talking about employability. Sister spoke about industry connect, all that will happen there. Learn to do, that means apply, because theory along with what happens in the classroom that you inspired, you can work on it. Okay, that's how we move on. Next stage is learning to live together. Many are finding it very, very difficult today. That's why people, if they can stay in a hostel, early childhood, they would have learned a lot of social skills. Lot of social skills, because today the social skills are losing. People don't have, because all independent and nuclear families. Those days, joint families. If the mother and father were tough, the child would run to the grandfather. And grandfather had wisdom, would always tell also, guide the child, guide the parents and do it. Today nobody wants their parents to be with them. They want independence. And the child, where we need to go, get into mobile addictions elsewhere. Nobody there. Parents themselves use the mobile. Child also looks at it. They also use it. Now, where is living together? The social skills. This is very important. This is why UNESCO says empathy, dialogue. When it happens at home, when it happens in education institution, even when somebody disrupts you, creates problem, do I have the courage to sit with that child and talk? Why this child is doing the same thing? If I can have time, maybe you and I may not have, at least we need to have a system where we can create and talk to this child and say why this is happening. You invariably find out there's some problem in the family. The fragile family background or something that has happened. The social skills this boy or a girl has not developed. Once he or she develops, things will change. Things will change drastically. That is where living together, which embraces diversity, you are mixing with different kinds of people. The peace building will happen. The shared responsibility. We are all collaborators. That means you need me, I need you. All of us need one another. It's not that I need everything and then I go on the ladder and then others are disrupted. No. We all need, but we all have different skills. We are all unique. Not all are administrators. There is a kind of a thing, because he is promoted to be administrator, I would want. See, somebody should know why he is not promoted. He may be a great researcher. I keep telling my professors, when somebody gets retired or 3 years term is over, all cannot become HODs. HODs require little more skills. But if you're a researcher, you be happy with the researcher. You're doing a lot of work. So all cannot conduct a fest properly, all cannot conduct something, yes, but we need to identify our own limitations, skills, but then he can do it. It's not that it's impossible, but he can acquire that skill and do it, then it's okay. But without doing, if you're not aware of it, that you want to do it and disrupt the system, it's bad. So that is where create this shared responsibility, which prepares learners for global citizenship. That is what we're talking about. Okay, the fourth one is, this is where I really like, I kept saying about EQ is all about this. Learn to be in solidarity. If I can sit quietly in my room without using my mobile, without talking to anybody for half an hour, I can live wonderfully. If I cannot do that, that means lots of thoughts and feelings will come. Then either I have to talk to somebody, now is your God comes in. Whoever is your God, that is you are talking to. That is more important than whoever is your friend. Whatever you can talk to a friend, but nothing like talking to the unknown. Because you always doubt, you always fear. You always say you're skeptic. This is my best of my friend. I can't share two personal things about that. I stopped somewhere else. Now I have to talk to them, to the unknown, to our own gods, to someone whom I relate to. Relationship is so very important when I am in silence. If I can sit there for half an hour without talking morning and evening, spend that time without talking to anybody, relating with my and having a communion with God, things will change because self-awareness will come. I know who I am. I can be happy. That's why the next video that I'm presenting you also will be coming in that nature. Nurtures identity, values, and personal growth. Education as a path to human flourishing. That is where the respect will come. That is where I start reflecting. If I don't reflect as a teacher, what am I going to do? All about is reflection. Being a teacher is a reflection. For all the other jobs, like work in industry, there's no hardly any reflection there. But here I am shaping somebody. Here I am molding somebody. I got a responsibility. Where the industry, that guy doesn't have. They only capital and corporate how to make more money. Whereas here it is not that work. That's why I always keep saying the profession or the vocation that we as teachers is the noblest. Nobody can take it away. Nobody can take it away. Such a noble this one because you're building another human. How to become another human. If at all the institutions work at it, how beautiful the world would be. All the jails will be closed tomorrow. We don't require. There's no reformation has to happen here. That's why all that has to happen first to me. When I'm aware of it as a personal life, second is there, third is the society at large. How do I build up? One is the last one, transform oneself and the society. This is the most difficult part. We are always on the process of it. I can't transform. Those transformed people are like Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, they're beyond. I'm actually in the process. It may happen in my lifetime or not, but what is important, my goal is towards that. This is the most difficult, but ultimate goal is that transformation of myself completely. That is the ultimate goal. It may happen to me, then I become somebody who can contribute something. But then that is the process. Somebody may become, somebody may not. But then let us not worry about it, whether I can achieve it or not. But the last four things you can achieve. This one is the process. We need not worry about achieving, but let us be in the path of that transformation. That is important. First of all, oneself, and secondly, about the society at large. Okay, this video, let us try to listen to. Can you get the voice? Mike, presentation. Mike.
Successful, people will, give me a lot of recognition and reward, and I'll be happy.
Can you play?
And I woke up one day about age 45, and I realized I had a theory of happiness, which was completely flawed. My theory was, if I work really hard and I am really successful, people will, give me a lot of recognition and reward, and I'll be happy. And I realized where that happened. It started happening in school. Every time I got good marks, the teacher smiled and my mother gave me a hug. Every time I didn't get good marks, there were frowns. So like an obedient dog, I tried to get good marks. Then I went to join the company. Every time I did some good work, boss was happy, gave you a raise, a promotion. Every time you didn't do it, you got a kick. So you're trained. Okay. So you get on this treadmill. The problem is, like an alcoholic, you need to drink more and more to get the same high. And one day you wake up and you say, man, how long can this continue? I'm no longer enjoying this. I'm no longer happy. So I spent 10 years reading about the literature from different religious faiths. I went through counseling to understand this issue of happiness. First of all, happiness has nothing to do with success or achievement or what you have in your life. We all know people who have everything and are miserable. We all equally know people who have nothing, but they're always smiling. So it's an attitude. It's a psychologist called this synthetic. Synthetic means it's made, manufactured by our mind. And so the trick here is to control your thoughts. The second thing I learned painfully is the more you think about yourself, the more unhappy you're likely to be. The more you lose yourself, the more happy you are. So you can only be happy if you forget about yourself. It's been a very good lesson for me. The third one is acceptance. And, there was a beautiful moment for me when the shoe dropped. Irfan Khan, the good actor, he was dying, very young, cancer. And the person was interviewing, said, how are you able to smile when you know you're going to die in 2 months? I said, well, I'd hope life would be different, but life has no obligation to give us what we expect. And then I put that with Dalai Lama, who said, happiness comes from liking what we have rather than having what we like. Okay. So this is very hard for me because I used to think, I wish I were a big CEO of a big company like Satya Nadella and Microsoft. Okay. Why have I not become that? And I used to go a little crazy. Then I realized, life has not turned out too badly for me. So let's be grateful for that and enjoy that. So cultivating this acceptance is very, very important. And the final piece around happiness is relationships. Loneliness is the biggest driver of unhappiness. And the more we are connected with each other, the happier we are. I woke up one.
I was trying to say, being happy and how things work is all about synthetic. It's a man-made. That's why I said half an hour if you are there, your thoughts are most disturbing than somebody else. So someone said today, criticized you. Your mind, the thoughts go round and round. That's why you need silence. That's why I said half an hour in the morning, half an hour in the evening. You take those thoughts out. You may have said whatever maybe somebody is saying, I want to be happy. Nobody can change. And you can be always happy. So that is where, and it's not said by somebody who's a priest or a nun to the spiritual. These are the people who are in the world today, people like you are talking about it with that experience. That's where I would say that let us try to accept, build up relationship within the institution. This is like a family. This family together can make wonders tomorrow what university you want. It can be the best in the world. Instead of one person doing that hard work, 10 of us do the same number of work, things will change. Otherwise, 10 will work, another 100 will see the beauty of it. Nothing will change. That is what we are in. That is what the world is made up of, unfortunately. But we can change with the mind that we are in. That's why I just brought that aspect. We'll go into the research part of it. The main work, I'm not going into deeper into that. I'm sure the others will guide you just to inspire or just to build a thought today that I'm working on it. Research informs the pedagogy, the curriculum, and the leadership. As I said, the higher education, the crux of higher education is research. There is no research, there is no higher education at all. Impossible. You can't say there is a higher education and we don't have research there. Higher education basically connects with only research. Up to 12th standard, I can understand. That's why there's a passionate into doing something innovative, new will get in here because something new that you're doing it. So you go and share with your student tomorrow. And that's how their knowledge is enhanced. They'll ask you a question and your knowledge is, that's how you move. That's how whole institution changes. That's why research is so important, which enables evidence-based innovation in classrooms, which bridges theory and practice for better learner outcomes. The learner is now engaged. So they are not studying something which is old. That's why you see when you become an autonomous college, you got so much freedom. When I become a university, you got 200% freedom. I can do anything I want. Nobody is going to ask me. The curriculum, for example, I can bring industrialists into my BOS. And I can bring a foreigner, another professor from another. We have done that. Within a year, you won't believe it. Many of my board of studies, there are foreign faculty members already industrialists. Because when before becoming university, we used to call the other college faculty as our board of studies. I said nothing doing, stop them. We are a university. Either you call somebody from the university or from a research institution or somebody from a higher education from abroad. It has to be. So we are part of that. It's a big challenge for our faculty, but then we are learning. We are learning because internationalized already. That is where you are questioning your learning, and many of them are finding very happy. That's why I said the patents are coming in, new ideas are coming in, collaborate. See, world is not very difficult. When you collaborate, then you understand what difficulty he faces and I face. They're also human beings. They're not super brains of IQs. It's only sharing of little ideas. When that sharing happens, things will change drastically. People think that, okay, we are all in the same boat and things will change. He is sharing his ideas. I'm sharing. I build up my connect with him and things will change. That's why research is so very important. And no one size fits all in education. So I was talking about all about education. There's no uniformity at all. Uniformity can kill your education system. I am choosing very, very strong words. Because the moment because each one of is so unique, there is uniformity. But bring in within that person's system and idea, bring in something new. So that's why one size doesn't fit in all. The context specific inquiry shapes meaningful practices. What few people come to, that's why researchers is not one person doing it. I always encourage, in the past, it was all working in the silos. Because Siena Rao came to our institution and changed our mindset. He said, Father, no more silos. Your institution seems like every department is fighting against the other department. There are enough and more instruments in the institution. One cannot see the other. Stop that. The moment you stop that, your institution will improve. That's why NEP has brought in beautiful concept of multidisciplinarity, interdisciplinarity. Any great science today has to flourish only through collaboration. Otherwise, one mind cannot encompass the whole world. That's why you have somebody from humanities, somebody from commerce. They're giving different background. Let's say marketing. You start something as a scientist. Marketing will be done by the BBA guy. And that's how things flourish. That's why innovation has to come in. That's why teachers first need to collaborate. We start collaborating with another department, let's say life sciences, let's all work together. Physical sciences work together. There are enough and more instruments. We don't have to actually get more. Even the same thing was happening before we became university. Same thing was taught by microbiology teacher and chemistry teacher. Now we said BOS, there is somebody else. We made now schools, School of Life Sciences. They have to actually give what they teach. No repetition should be allowed. So things can change because that much of time can be used for something else and research-based activities. All that can happen because the problem is silos. Silos was required. It was not bad. At one time it was required and cyclic process. Collaboration doesn't go too long. After some time there'll be fight, there'll be conflict and people get into silos. But then this is a constant activity. It has to go on. Now is the time for collaboration. I'm sure after 20 years again you get down to silos. Again, you get down to collaboration. That's how the cyclic process. It's a time factor. That thing is 100% certain for today, which is tomorrow. No, we are all read enough and more history. So what is happening in the history, and these all things will go on. Context specific. This will happen now, change, and then change that. That's why you have to adopt. People have to adopt quickly to changes that happen, then things will change. Encourages teachers as researchers with the reflective practitioners. Today we require all reflective mindsets. Only then things can change because we are ready for a change. Okay, the power of research in education. Research is the heartbeat, I said, the crux, the heartbeat of academic institution. That's why, if at all you are not so far into it, I would simply request you start working it today. It is not very difficult. It's not at all difficult. It's only starting where you want to. Once you start enjoying it, nothing like that. That's where we need to get in and change will happen. The culture will change because I remember when I was doing my studies in Belgium, my teachers would come at 6 o'clock in the morning. Classes would go on whole night. Library is open 24/7. I still remember going in the morning, suddenly no sleep, some idea, go to the library. It's open there at 2 o'clock in the morning. And there are hundreds of students. We go to JNU. One day I went to JNU. Professor, a good friend of mine said, Father, we'll go at 1 o'clock to the library. Thousands of students at 1 o'clock in the library. Thousands, not 100. That is what university is. That is where the knowledge happens. That is where the change will happen. No, we are talking about 9 to 4 and saying that higher education. Yes, we began for a good cause, but today can we change that? No, that is where that's where when you have to enjoy. Of course, then somebody may say, you've got a family. Yes, how do you balance it out? All that is there. The problem is, somebody said, life in the life, problem is part of our life. And the solution is out of our life. This is a solution. The solution is available for us. We all are capable of solving any problem, even the family problem, anything. That's the art. If I can get into that art, I can solve any problem. No problem is difficult that someone else has to come and solve it. No, I can solve it by myself. But then we'll have to get into that attitude. As this Ravi Venkatesan that I got in just now, Ravi Venkatesan, how he said is all mind, positive. You push something, it is possible, it is possible. Say it is not possible, it is not possible. Because your language. One day, I went to a nursery and trying to pick a plant. I simply asked this nursery man, will it work in my garden? Father, it won't work. You leave it here. Then they got angry and said, you ask the negative question, it won't work. You take it and it will plant, it will happen. Even the gardener, taught me one day in the negative thinking. I said, will it work? He said, it won't. He said, it will work only when you take it and plant it, it has to work. Because he says, even the plant will understand your negative thoughts. Someone else's house, once I entered, the garden was really bad. Someone said, if the garden is bad, the flowers are not there, the family also may not be good. And it so happened. Nobody's talking to anybody there. You go to a family where garden flourishes there, you see inside also same kind of life. It can be in our religious community, it can be in our institutions, anywhere. Because that is where life begins. If there is no life, there is no life anywhere. That's why all a passion actually. There's nothing called anywhere, something has to be stopped anytime. So drives curriculum, for example, you have to change curriculum. When you become university, every second year change your curriculum. Because things are changing there. And students will learn something here. And things can work out. Of course, keeping the basics are very strong. And evidence-based decision making empowers educators to question, explore, and transform teaching learning processes. That is where you can expect tomorrow something will happen to society. Otherwise, that's why I said university is the heartbeat of education and the research. That is where in the past, anything that is to change it to happen in the university. Unfortunately, today politicians have taken over. Should not be allowed actually. Because they are all failed students without much knowledge taking it up. But unfortunately, we don't have enough EQ. They have got better EQ. That's why they're taking up. We should build up enough EQ today so that we can build and control them. And they got far better EQ. They meet thousands and thousands of people. Do we have energy to meet? They have, because they've got higher EQ. They know how to handle even 1,000 fellows from their constituency when they come. They can manage them. But I can't manage even 5 students who come to me after the classroom. I have not developed that EQ. But that person has developed. That is where the change things can happen. Why research matters for educators? First of all, the critical thinking that I said, change, that is important. Bridges theory and practice in classrooms. What I teach tomorrow that is applicable, I bring in that very strongly. Informs institutional policies and instructional design. Build a scholarly identity and professional credibility. Research brings credibility for a higher education institution. Up to 12th, you don't ask me, I'm also not keen on, but if you go abroad where I studied, even those who are teaching the primary are all PhD scholars. You won't believe me. That is very important. PhD scholars doing research are teaching the primary, which doesn't happen in India, but happens abroad. So they have got only not more than 20 students they take. The beginning itself, there's a Montessori kind of an education system, where the educators, because they're doing research, they're finding out why the child is behaving that way. That's why the researchers are teaching there in the primary. Whereas that's why we have got a long way to go. For us, higher education now, but at least another 20 years time, those who do research and into research should be in the primary and in the higher education schools, because they need to understand the child and the behavior and the aptitude, put this positive mindset. Ultimately, the synthetic. That means thoughts and everything, you see, whatever that happens from a childhood is only negative. Why prayer? Simple fact, positive. Anything that has to be done, it doesn't just come in. You have to push it. Push imagination. Push something very positive. Positive doesn't come to us just like that. Negative thoughts, yes. From the child onwards, anything that you sit, negative will come just like that. That's why prayer, that's why meditation is a forced activity. Somebody says, I was one day giving a retreat to the sisters, and the priests also were there part of it. They were asking, why imagination and sitting in prayer? That means you are putting something into that, then vision. That is the fact. You sit there,
you get only negative. That's why read a scripture that pushes you into positive attitude. Education, pushing you to, that's why somebody said, you ask the student tomorrow what education they know. Why should you ask? Because they will say they won't enjoy it. Definitely. Because you don't ask, but they don't know because it's negative. I'm a teacher because I know what I need to give. But of course, involve them into that. Involve them into that, guide them into that. That's why become facilitators, things can change. And research methodology, all of us know this simple methodology where all our research happens with this kind of a mindset. We start with the questioning, the problem that we begin with, then review of literature, define objectives, choose the research design, ethical considerations. I'll come to that. Ethical consideration is a big question in India today and all over the world. It's really sad, but that is what is happening. And data collection, data analysis, interpretation and discussion. See, ultimately, is all interpretation. You just think about Newton and that apple or some kind of fruit falling. Wasn't it falling for ages? It was only one person's questioning. That brought into interpretation and the gravitational force. Many things will happen in the world. It's all about the curious individual observing it quietly and coming out with reflection and answering it. Even now, when we talk about paper, like the plastic, in chemistry, plastic was the biggest invention just in 60s, 70s. But today it is the most disruptive. So that's how the world goes. But today somebody has to discover something else to make it. And see that marketing guy has to promote it. Now today, researchers are doing research. There is no marketing guy because there is no multidisciplinary research that is going on. If there's a marketing guy, can stop this plastic because there's so much of research that is going on. If marketing guys somehow markets it well, today it's expensive, tomorrow it can become cheap and everybody starts using that. Maybe tomorrow that may be disruptive what somebody has come up with. Come out something new. That is what is called flexibility and moving. Otherwise, we are stuck notion. We are stuck saying that world is becoming bad, this and that. There's all a stuck notion, and researchers like us should not even respect that kind of a thinking. No, because we are always change makers and to bring something else. And that, of course, conclusion comes into the publication. Now, the publication is important. Where do you really publish? Okay, these are not required. This is what I really like. The structure of research is like hourglass. Most of us have that in houses and elsewhere. You have seen this. This is the notion of research. Like begin with a broad question. Then you have to narrow down, focus it, and operationalize it, observe it, analyze the data, research conclusions, and generalize to the public. No, start with that and narrow it down and then bring it back and give it to the society. That is how the research begins anyway. You start with that kind of a questioning, with the broad questions, then deepen it and move forward. This is what I just want to give you. I think many of you are publishing, I'm sure. In the QN journals, we talk about the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Okay, but Q1 journals, if we publish, it is really worth it. You can see the 10 categories that I mentioned here as rank, the quality, the impact, the reputation, acceptance rate, review process, publication time, citation rate, visibility, research time. And if you see the Q1 journals and Q2, they are most difficult to publish. That is where our knowledge should come in now. We should now see that our papers are published in Q1 and Q2, not Q3 and Q4. And it is easy to publish, but then that's the rat race. We should stop that rat race. That can be stopped only various ways of doing it, like consortium. Like our institution with many other institutions, what we have done is now consortium. To help the researchers, we have built up a consortium. Like 3-4 institutions have come together, and the departments have come together, and they share the best of faculty chemistry from this to another institution, they tie up. They start thinking, let's say one paper that I published, he will say, I will cite it. The citation will go high, H index will go high. See, some kind of a collaboration and working it out. If I'm in silos, what happens? I work individually, and these things will not help me. Thus, institutions should come together with collaboration, and you can really publish in good articles. I think it's almost 1 hour. I got another 2 hours to go. Sister says, yes, sir. I can stand, but they will be feeling bored. Okay, because I don't know how I got into talking too much today. I had planned many things, but then not even
I got more than 200 slides. I have not even gone through 15 of them so far. Because I had a fear whether I could finish. If I don't get my words don't work, at least I can show the slides I thought. But today, my words are coming stronger. So, okay, so we will stop it wherever you tell me to stop. Because there's nothing like, I don't believe in content. I believe in methodology. Content can be given. In my chemistry, there are thousands and thousands of books written. Ultimately, if I have to be a researcher, I need to know the methodology. I can't grasp all that is there. It's impossible. But I should know where and how to begin and where to reach and do something. That's why it is methodology more than the content in itself that can be done. But we are all worried how much content to be given in our education system, rather to create a methodology where methodology will help me to analyze. I can create knowledge, I can do something. Otherwise, I'll be just doing something what is taught to me and then continuously produce that. Okay, ethics in research, I would like to spend a little time here. How ethics is important. The rules and regulations. If I really love the society, I don't need a rule and regulation. Because we are human beings, we need it. Now what will happen? There's the order there. No, right lights are there, red lights are there, but then I jump, there's an accident. Unethical practice, somebody is doing the pickpocketing. Somebody is passing the cheat. And why it is happening in the education system? I can give you reasons for unethical practices. Again, in the systemic failure, if you go and see. The 7 reasons that I would like to give you here, why it happens. Say personal circumstances. I had been applying for a green card to go to US and pressurized to make a good paper and get good publication. I will do anything and to see that I get it there. So that is where it begins with. Why unethical practices? Because some pressure there somewhere. I need to go by all means. I will say somewhere or the other I will do it and I will get in there. Same thing with individual psychology. Half of me wanted to make my PI proud. The other half was terrified of falling. So I fabricated. So somebody is doing well. So I also want to fabricate it because I want to get a name. I want to show that I'm a successful individual. I start doing it. Okay, next. Then competitive pressures, for example, to publish in, let's say, Q1 journal. Can I straight away start with the Q1 journal? Maybe difficult. Can I start with a smaller one, then get in there slowly? That is possible. So because there is a pressure, I get in there directly and I do something else. And similarly, the poor supervision. I was scared to go to my PI, so he used to scream and yell. Yes, we have sometimes our research supervisors are so tough. They yell, and it has happened to me also. They throw your book, and then you should have a humility to pick up the book and come. What is the problem? EQ again is not IQ, it's the EQ. He will do anything and everything. But if he becomes a monkey, why should I become a monkey? I always ask this question. If somebody behaves like a monkey, you don't become like a monkey. Allow that person to yell or do anything else. I keep your dignity and respect, like Buddha would say. And then when that person is calm, go and attend and get the things done. That is possible, but that takes time. That's why we are not working. Inadequate training, for example. Okay, to do my work, to write articles, I am not equipped completely, so I am too humble enough to say that, okay, another colleague of mine, another place where I can learn, and I start doing it. Tomorrow I become the best trainer there to do it. Today I'm dependent. If I'm not dependent, if I don't learn, forever I don't learn. I don't enjoy doing it. So these are the reasons why I'm thinking that people get into unethical practices and the things will go on. So if you go into this organization, integrity organization, there are statements in many of these organizations how we can ethically work, and there are standards which we can actually, for a reason. Why I'm saying is, why see, let's say you got a doctor. Now all of us are sometimes patients. Do you like to go to a good doctor or a bad doctor? Good doctor, isn't it? Simple fact. When I write a good article, also something same, no? Put all fake things there. And tomorrow expect somebody to be a good teacher. That's why I'm saying how it affects the society. People don't understand it. Today, I all use all shortcuts for becoming famous, all of a sudden, instant gratification, all that. But tomorrow, who is actually working? Today, it has gone so bad, even the food, they poison it. Isn't it? We are not sure when I buy something from the market, whether it is really a good fruit or not. What they have put, we do not know. Because people have become so corrupt to make money from any means. Now, what is happening? All of us are getting sick. The cancers are increasing. And we are questioning, we are eating only good food. We don't have bad habits. We go and do it, and then still we get like all these kinds of things. That's why we need to question why all these are very important. And then later on, we only struggle through various ways that I'm showing there. So that's why my responsibility today to see that we keep up the integrity and the stewardship in any way that we are in. So world and things can change drastically for you and for us. And finally, to preventing research misconduct, researchers, though there is opportunity, rationalize it, and researchers can produce good results. You are the funding agency, as I said, work with good people of goodwill. Reduce people with that difficulty is all questioning. That's why I said, learn to be, once you know, learn to be self-aware of all my difficulties. When I take charge of those things, and things will change for me. And these things can be developed so that we're in a world where the quality is kept up, and also everybody has the standard of living. So that everybody is healthy, we live happily, we live peacefully. I think that is the final mindset that we have. So let us have the zero tolerance, protect whistleblowers. There will be time and again, there will be whistleblowers. Sometimes we stop them. We don't allow them to tell us the truth. And plenty of them clarify how to report, train the mentors, model ethical behavior. I've seen now many institutions, they now train the mentors. I would say that is one of the best practices to start a research culture. Rather saying that why he doesn't have that, why should I help him? No, it's a culture. So let us start training it and spending some time, and things can change drastically. I think you're bored with my sound. Technician has run away. All this coming good. With that, we stop it for now. It's a clap. When ideas dance, things can change, isn't it? That is where I stop it for the time being. Maybe next time you can call me and I can continue. Another half is left there, but with the pedagogy, whatever I said, I have already brought in quite a lot of things. But then the time, because I thought 2 hours, we started with 11:30. I lost half an hour there with that planning I have come. Anyway, now we'll stop it at this moment. Any questions that you have, you can ask questions. You can.
Thank you, Father. Oh, I just want to inform the participants who are online right now that if they have any queries, please post it in the chat box. And the link to the feedback will also be posted in the chat box as soon as the Q&A session is over. Among the audience here, do we have any questions for Father? It was a very engaging session, definitely.
And just one question, as you suggested, we should go for Q1 and Q2. We have a pressure from NAC. The number of publication also is equally important. That's why sometimes like a rat race, we go for Q3 and Q4. So if we go for Q1 and Q2, it takes a lot of time, sometimes 5 years also, to improve on our things. So what do you want to tell us on this?
Yeah, as you rightly said, I think the Q1 and Q2 publication takes time. And I also mentioned there a lot of reviews. And if something like the original comes in, they don't do it. And there's also a little problem today with India as a mindset. Unfortunately, we have spoiled it with a lot of fake articles coming in. Now, when there is an Indian author, let's say, they don't allow, they will go through second review, third review. That's why I would suggest a simple kind of a building up the collaboration. You need to build up now collaboration with other universities which are good. I'm doing this suggestion because my papers also, because I was in Europe, they become easily published because my authors, there will be either second or third author, somebody will be from a European institution, from American institution. The moment they see their names, there is all bias. Okay, the review stops at the second level. Otherwise, you are Indian, all authors are Indian. Unless you already made a name, it will take time. As you said, it may take 3 years, 5 years, and there's the pressure on NAC and other things. My simple suggestion is that's where those of you are good among you as faculty members, they need to mentor the others. Know the ideas, how they have worked on it. The beautiful and simple idea would be like build up collaboration today and build up with the good universities. Let's say in that university, there's a science teacher or a commerce teacher, build up and request for some ideas and also put their name somewhere. Like, then the collaboration begins with. They're also happy. They're also benefiting. You're benefiting and things will change. The articles also will be published. So that is one way of working it out. Another one, as I said, about the consortium. Maybe build up in India itself, best of institutions, 3-4 institutions, build up network. Today, the whole world is about network. Remain in silos, you're done. We cannot stay in silos, stay saying that I'm the best researcher and I will not add anybody, I will not talk to somebody. The conflict will arise, difficulties will happen. Sometimes they steal your ideas, there's a fear, all sorts of things are there. It's not easy. You'll have to take a risk. Somewhere you have to balance it out. That's the only way that you can move forward. The moment you got frightened of everything and you're perfect and the best, that will keep you stopped anywhere else. Things will happen, things will go wrong. Okay, somewhere somebody has to take a courage and work on it. Okay, that's the only thing I can suggest you.
So you have emphasized about the need to align academia with industry, like co-design curricula. Said have them on the board of studies and all that. But what practical steps can individual faculty members take to initiate or contribute towards such collaborations within their own institution?
Yeah, that is also, see, that will help you in many levels. Having an industry connect will also help the placement. Listener, I will answer it in different ways. See, I would suggest, see, today the students, when they come, the employability skill is very important. Otherwise, students won't come to our institutions because they also see when they're paid it, they would like to get a job. Now, these are all connected. Now, let's say chemistry department need to find out, we are told them very clearly, identify at least 30 to 50 institutions, the companies, the industries. That is where the industry, individual faculty role also will come in. Now they are going even one step ahead. In the future, training should not happen only this kind of a training.
even the faculty members from each department, 2 or 3 faculty members should be sent for 6 months to work in an industry, to understand the industry and come back. Then send the students also for work. That's why our 3rd year project works all should happen in the industry. Not just the internship, it also to be apprenticeship. We have got now 3, 4 programs now already as an university. You can't do it. Autonomous colleges can work on it to an extent so that you can start getting the industry people. That's why individuals should try that. Individuals also identify these industries and ask for it. Even the management should be allowing. Now we have allowed now. Any faculty comes up and says like, my subject aligns with this kind of an idea. Can I go for 6 months? We now, the management allows paid leave. So we are allowing and we can see the benefit out of it. So we are like, putting almost about 50 lakhs every year from the management for these kind of practices. So the faculty now can come forward. Faculty who are in the 2nd year of their research, we give about 2 years of complete research work with paid leave. Of course, with the bond period, after that, at least 5 more years they have to work. Otherwise, that 2 years, whatever that we give, they have to reimburse and leave the institution and go. That has helped us a lot. Won't imagine when I started off, we had only 30 researchers. Now I got 150 researchers just in 6 years' time with this kind of practices. A lot of faculty also work in industry today. And I have told all our faculty, each department, identify minimum 30 to 40 industries and connect with the placement office. It benefits everything. The more placement companies will come, and that way you have to build up a connect. And when they come, you encourage them also to part of the BOS. And they will also contribute. And also they will support for your events. Like your own students that join that company. Now with the placement you work out how many students of yours are in that company. Call them quietly another day. Maybe 10 of them are there, 5 of them are there. Ask them like, push it forward for CSR. Each company has got CSR project. Now say 5 to 10 of your students are there in the company. They may be out there, they must have joined, but they can influence the industry saying that I have come from a very good college. Can you just give a CSR project to that? And they would know being inside of how to get a CSR. So these are all ideas. I am working on these ideas and succeeded a lot in getting a lot of CSR projects that way. Now we are getting into Section 8 company. So much so like, every year I want to see that 5 to 10 students start company as a student itself. Every year now we get 3 or 4 students working as already germinated as a company. We are giving them up to 3 lakhs to germinate the company from the institution. Every year we have got innovative festivals. And we allow them staff should be one of the mentors for that. The students can be 3 or 4 of them. Come together, pitch an idea. And there's a competition. Best of 5, we give them about 3 lakhs each. And then send them everywhere and guide them individually with our alumni. They start working with them and once they get the money, they will give back. I had a student, now he has got a big company in Bangalore. He has got enough and more money. Now he is giving money. I had given him initially 3 lakhs. Now he has given me already 10 lakhs. And he said, Father, keep it for the students to support. Because with that idea, I got the money. Now I've got enough and more money. I want to be tomorrow unicorn. That's the plan. I'm going ahead with that. And the institution which has supported, I'm so grateful. I will be always there with you. So this is what happens. This kind of culture has to start now. So a lot of new things have to be built up. If you don't do it, we are lost. We have to create that culture. At least it doesn't begin. What I'm suggesting is a small group. 5 of you are interested, 10 of you are interested. Passionately build it up. So that way we can now connect. This all connect. Now how it can be connected and help an institution, individual also it helps. Is that okay? That's what we are working at it. I got that plan and it is working really well for us.
Father, I just wanted to say more questions. That your session was excellent because we learned all practical experiences, which is not written in any book. It was not at all, so it was really excellent. We learned a lot.
Right. What I believe in now today is all ideas. Like the few things that we started with, the best staff of the month, best student of the month, best alumni of the month. I started about 4 years ago. Anything that you start, there is a big protest.
But everybody says all of us are best here as the faculty. Why have to be choosing best faculty? And who will choose that? What will happen? That I said I'll keep it to myself. And nomination, all that. I won't really all the secrets in the public. I can tell the administrators. But then it has worked wonders. I tell you, students are waiting today with their photograph. 1 month their photograph will be there with special things that are contributed by them. And we don't choose somebody who's the best singer, best person who has published anything, best attitude. We observe somebody who is excellent as a social worker, excellent as somebody like, this department is not good at all in studies, but is always there to support and run around and do something. His name will come. So they don't know whose name will come there. But one boy and one girl, and same thing with the library. Same thing with eco warriors. We created smaller groups. Like when I started, our garden is maintained and managed by the students today. No workers there, 1 or 2 workers are there. All that is done by them. Initially, I'll tell you, when it's all started off, there were some faculty members called the students, if the father is like making money by making you work here, you are slaves. Then the students came to me, this is what other senior faculty members are saying, I feel very bad about it. See, you must challenge it. You know, I know what you are doing it. You are doing it as out of love. You are creatively doing it. If you have courage, you stay here. If you don't have courage, listen to these people, go away with them. I need only one student is enough for me. I started with one student and I also started working it. Today I got 100 students fighting for it. I stopped with 100. All best 100 students and they have to come at any time. Saturday, Sunday, no money is given to them. Nothing is given to them. Only appreciation. I give a very good certificate at the end. And that certificate helped them. So this is regarding eco warriors as garden. We have started peace building activity, like, peace orientation, interfaith. People from all the religions come together, 20 each. Every month they sit and pray together. So they understand another religion better. These politicians and others are trying to divide us. Why can't we unite each other? We knowing that ultimately who will lose everything? We only lose. Ultimately we see as human as the best religion. Somebody else, you and I had no choice to choose. We have begun with that, but why can't I respect that? So we have started something with an umpteen number of small groups. Recently, I got an idea when I went for a NAC team, Super 100 I started. Super 100 is a simple idea where one student should have more than 3 skills, minimum 3 skills. I got more than about 200 students applying for them. I brought it down to 60 students, and those students, anytime they can be ambassadors of this institution. They don't require attendance, nothing. The names are written everywhere. Everybody, faculty knows who they are. No question, no faculty should question them once, because we select them, faculty. After that, no attendance problem. But this boy or a girl need not sit in the classroom. Why should they sit in the classroom and listen to that? The other students came and questioned me, why not me? I have 3 skills. Write it down, I'll prove it, do it. No issues, it's public. And it's working so well. But I want our students to be elsewhere if they are good at it. If they've got 3 skills equally good as a dance or academics or a sports, why don't you take it up? That should be equally good. And academics also. Without, like our teachers there, the student can get higher marks. Why should they need? And then small group. And they become ambassadors when they're in the colleges. See, ideas are the ones, either research or patent or anything, that will sell tomorrow. And so it's ideas will come just like that. You have to talk to others. Like yesterday I got another idea. I'm going to implement it in the next semester. I had a very good foreign friend from France. And there was my international collaboration cell researcher. He is from Singapore. He was there in Internet, but he's a chemistry man. He has got 14 hours of teaching and then he is doing this collaboration. And then he has to do invigilation. This guy, when we were talking it, he said, Father, don't give him enough and workload. How can he do this work? I said, help me, how? Another idea. He said, in my institution in France, invigilation is done by the outsiders. We don't waste time for the researchers. We pay in the fine, then the goodwill is generated. I'm going to implement it. I already spoke to my registrar, he got wild. Father, you're going to sell this institution. I said, I will do it as ISR, institutional social responsibility. I'm not going to do it as, I said, there's an idea. Now break down with the idea. You don't worry about tomorrow. Suddenly that is dangerous and all. That is how a human reaction is.
sit down, break down with that idea for another 10 days, theories first, with all the implications, and implement it next year. Now I've got something called STAND, St. Aloysius Nurturing Drive. The poor students, I'm not giving them concession. They have to work. 60 rupees per hour, I pay them. They are in my IQAC, they are in my office, they're elsewhere. They come at 7 o'clock, till 9 o'clock they work before the classes begin. They're given the computer, they're in the library everywhere. I got more than 100 of them. And the concession, why should you now work and I'll pay you? They get much more. And the poor students. And all my work, all the data collection, teachers were saying, everything is done by the student. But of course, they have to go through 1 week of training, confidentiality, they have to sign an affidavit along with their parents, all that I have done. Something leaks from my office or anywhere, that student is gone. This is create certain kind of a thing. Maybe a few months, not punish them, but I'm saying we have created such kind of a thing so that all the work, instead of having a clerical staff who morning till evening doesn't do great work, not saying that some people work, some don't, but these kids for money is in their work. It's an idea. Where did I get idea? Of course, that's why I go for NAC visits. I go to various, I get some idea and pick up and then start working at it and making it my own. Customize it, come and share it with 4 of my faculty members. We sit over that idea for days together. Each one comes with another idea. Then we theorize, we put it in the bracket, put everything sealed there, then make it public. It has helped a lot actually. So all ideas. Today is all ideas. And these are all ideas, some we are picking up from somewhere. You can now generate, customize it. Things will change, I tell you, the whole culture will change within the institution. I've got at least 400 students now, any Saturday or any time they're there. Because of this kind of smaller groups. Bigger groups, it is not possible. Smaller groups, it is possible, they'll come. So things will change. And those teachers were telling them, father is making, they're also my friends. I know who they are. I said, I'm not going to, that's the time your thoughts came. You're not wrong. Okay, you must have said what you have said. You're not against my institution. But at that time it happened. Now you're also friends. You also joined. They're also joining them. Nobody is against anybody. At that moment, somebody's thoughts and ideas must have come. We don't have to take it as against, he's against me, against this and that. That's how it works. But if we can identify and embrace that faculty, things can change for you, Instead of saying that faculty, that enemy, nobody is bad. Some ideas must have come to them. Some reason they must have said it. Why don't you embrace them? See, that is where we talk about dissent in the world. We don't allow them to happen in my own place and my. Allow, things will change. Dissent is the fact of growth. Criticism is the fact of growth. That is where the growth happens. And we talk about governments don't have that ability. We ourselves don't have sometimes. Allow it to do it. Let the people dissent. Let the people criticize, but create a forum. In a nice forum, but of course, with always constructive criticism to build that up and sit together, dialogue it and build up. Things will change. I have experienced personally. Now with creativity and those ideas, things will drastically change. Things will change like within 5 years, give it 5 years. I started all these ideas about 6 years ago. And things have changed. Another idea started with the IPL. I liked IPL very much and I'm a sports person. And I enjoyed sports. In my institution, sports was the best when I was a student. But when I took charge, the sports was the worst. I called my physics education directors and asked, what is happening? They said, father, semester examinations, this and that, where sports, father? Impossible. Then I said, I'm interested in this. I got the IPL model. I said, APL, Aloysius Premier League. I kept the sports director out. I announced it, personally announced it. Those are interested in cricket, come. I got more than 200 names. This man is saying there are no sports students. I tell you, 2 days of 6 overs of game. Today it has become such a famous thing in the college. Everybody looks for it. 2 days. And after that, I got an idea. Why not cricket? Why only cricket? Do it for football, do it for badminton, do it for everything. One day I got an idea. Why not for dance? Why not for theatre? Why not for art? I got more than 20 leagues. You won't believe it. Best of students. They are creating waves. Best of students. These people are saying they are not there. They are there. But we do not know how to bring that out. No? Earlier, for a sports day, before that, every classroom has to fight another classroom for cricket. And see, there are only 5 students that get best there. There is no cricket match which is interesting. Now you are getting out of the institution best there and auction it. no money, auction it for the namesake. Things will change. These are all simple ideas. IPL. I got now the APL in the college. 20 leagues, you won't believe it. Students are just waiting there. And we have got now sports, we are not getting any medals. Now we are the best in the university. The professor said, see, the whole thing was, he is not wrong. Ideal. He was going round to every classroom, nobody is coming. He was right. They said, put an idea, students like this new kind of thinking, no? Put an idea and that worked. And he was also happy. It's not an idea, like, somebody has to come. That's why I'm suggesting, why don't you, it's all there with you. It's within you, it's there in the world elsewhere. Pick it up and make it your own. No? Okay, so thank you. I've been talking too much.
Very much, Farhan. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, for that really thought-provoking address. And the amazing responses that you gave to the questions that were asked by our faculty. As we conclude day one of the 7-day national level faculty development program on research, innovation, and industry connect, empowering excellence in education, it is my honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks. First and foremost, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Reverend Dr. Praveen Martis, Vice Chancellor, St. Aloysius Deemed to be University, Mangalore. Father, your keynote address was both inspiring and insightful, giving us a fresh lens through which to view our role as educators in today's dynamic academic and industry landscape. I really hope that we will steal some of your ideas and help Jyoti Nivas build into a better institution. We are deeply thankful to our principal and chairperson, Dr. Sister Mary Louisa S., for her constant support, visionary leadership, and gracious presence. Thank you, Sister, for being the driving force behind every initiative that uplifts our institution. A special word of appreciation goes to Sister Nalini Cruz, Sister Sajita Jose, and Dr. Carol Stanley Zembler for their efforts in organizing the 7-day faculty development program. I would also like to thank the FDP Organizing Committee, Dr. Leena Nair, Organizing Secretary, Dr. Josvi Narmada, Mrs. Anupama Bhatt, Mr. Mikhail Rajaram, and Dr. Rajesh Dharmaraj, whose tireless efforts made this program a reality. I also extend a heartfelt gratitude to various committee coordinators and members for their wholehearted support and expertise in organizing this FDP. A warm thank you to our IT team, especially Mr. Praveen and Mr. Richard, for ensuring that every detail was taken care of so seamlessly. To all our faculty participants from across the country, we are truly grateful for your presence and enthusiastic engagement. Your participation is what gives this program its purpose and energy. Last but not the least, to every unseen hand who has contributed either directly or indirectly to the smooth execution of this session, we say a heartfelt thank you. Let us carry forward the energy of this inaugural into the sessions that follow with open minds and a spirit of collaboration. Thank you and have a wonderful day. The feedback link will be posted in the chat box and will be open for 2 hours only. Thank you.